In a crowded city where ambition never slept, lived a man named Ishaan. From the outside, Ishaan looked like someone who was doing everything right. He woke up early, he worked late, he sacrificed weekends, he stayed loyal to one path for nearly 10 years, and yet every night when the noise faded and the lights went out, Ishaan felt an emptiness he could not explain. He worked at a respected corporate firm, good salary, stable future. His parents were proud. His friends called him settled. Society pointed at him and said, "This is what success looks like." But inside, Ishaan felt like he was slowly disappearing. Every morning, as he stood in front of the mirror adjusting his tie, a quiet voice whispered, "This isn't you." And every morning, he ignored it, because everyone around him said the same thing. "Don't quit now. You've already come so far. Every job feels boring sometimes. Keep going. It will get better." So Ishaan kept going. He told himself passion was a luxury. He told himself purpose was overrated. He told himself one day he would feel alive again. But days turned into months, months into years, and the emptiness grew heavier. One evening, after another 12-hour workday, Ishaan missed his train home. He sat alone on a bench at the station, watching people rush past him. Everyone seemed to be moving somewhere, while he felt completely still. An old man sat beside him. The man wore simple clothes and carried a small cloth bag. His eyes were calm, observant. After a few minutes of silence, he spoke. "You look tired," the man said, "not the kind of tired sleep can fix." Ishaan forced a smile. "Just work." The man nodded. "Work can drain the body. Wrong work drains the soul." That sentence hit Ishaan harder than anything he'd heard in years. They talked, slowly, honestly. Ishaan found himself saying things he had never said out loud before. "I feel stuck," Ishaan admitted, "but I can't leave. I've invested too much time. If I walk away now, it means I wasted 10 years. The old man listened carefully. Then he asked, "If you were walking toward the wrong destination for 10 years, would you keep walking just because you already walked that far?" Ishaan didn't answer. The man reached into his bag and pulled out a small folded map. He placed it in Ishaan's hand. The map was old, faded, almost useless. The man said, "Imagine this is your plan. You followed it faithfully, but what if the map was wrong from the beginning?" Ishaan frowned. "Then I'd be lost." The man smiled gently. "No, then you'd finally be free to choose a new direction." The train arrived. The man stood up, nodded once, and disappeared into the crowd. Ishaan went home that night unable to sleep. For the first time, he asked himself a question he had avoided for years. What if staying is the real failure? Over the next few weeks, Ishaan began paying attention to his body, his mind, his emotions. He noticed how drained he felt before work, how alive he felt when reading, learning, teaching others, writing ideas in a notebook he had hidden in a drawer. He realized something painful. He wasn't tired because he worked hard. He was tired because he worked against himself. Still, fear held him back. What will people say? What if I fail? What if I regret leaving? Everyone he spoke to gave him the same advice. Don't be stupid. Be grateful. Just push through. Keep going. But deep inside, another voice had grown louder. You are not meant to push through a life that is breaking you. One Sunday morning, Ishaan visited a quiet park outside the city. He sat by a lake, watching ducks glide effortlessly across the water. They weren't struggling. They weren't forcing movement. They moved because they were aligned with the water. And suddenly, Ishaan understood. He had been swimming on land.
That day, Ishaan made the hardest decision of his life. He walked away. He resigned from the job that defined him for a decade. No grand plan, no guaranteed outcome, just a deep certainty that staying would slowly destroy him. The first few months were brutal. Doubt attacked him every morning. Savings ran low. People questioned him constantly. You had everything. You threw it away. You'll come crawling back. There were nights Ishaan stared at the ceiling, terrified he had made the biggest mistake of his life. But something strange was happening too. He was sleeping better. His mind felt clearer. Ideas flowed freely. Energy returned. For the first time in years, he felt honest with himself. He began tutoring students in the evenings, writing in the mornings, learning new skills, failing, adjusting, growing. There was no instant success, no overnight miracle, but there was alignment. One evening, while teaching a struggling student, Ishaan saw a spark in the boy's eyes, the same spark he once had. The boy said, "No one ever explained it to me like this before." And in that moment, Ishaan felt something he had not felt in 10 years, meaning. Years later, Ishaan stood on a small stage, speaking to a room full of young professionals. People listened closely as he shared his story. "I stayed because everyone told me to keep going, but the truth is, sometimes persistence is wisdom, and sometimes it's fear wearing a disguise." He paused. Walking away isn't quitting when it brings you closer to who you really are. The room was silent. Ishaan continued, "We glorify endurance, but we rarely talk about direction. Effort without alignment is exhaustion. Consistency in the wrong path is not discipline, it's self-betrayal." After the talk, a young woman approached him with tears in her eyes. "I thought something was wrong with me," she said. "Everyone tells me to just keep going, but I feel lost." Ishaan smiled softly. "Then maybe you're not lost. Maybe you're standing at the beginning of the right path." That night, Ishaan walked home under the city lights, feeling something he never felt during his so-called successful years: peace. Not because life was easy, not because the future was guaranteed, but because he was finally walking with himself, not against himself. And that was the breakthrough. Lesson: not every door is meant to be pushed open. Not every road is meant to be finished. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop, turn around, and choose yourself. Because walking away from what drains you is often the first step towards what fulfills you.